Happy Sunday, everybody.
What's going on, everybody?
Woo, what's going on?
I'm just looking to see how
Sorry,
many people we got over
we were
there.
just about a minute late. I had sent these files to Randy like in the wee early hours this morning, and Randy didn't see them.
Nope. I think she tried to sneak them by me, is what it was.
Yeah, because I probably sent them about 2:30 this morning.
Oh yeah, then definitely. I was in bed. I did not get it, but I never got it. Like I said, that for some reason I have to watch that email every single day because I don't get notices. My phone sometimes just does not give me notices. Well, not just that email, but everything. I got sometimes my
Well,
phone just says
and I didn't send it to your
wants to give
personal
me a little.
email. I didn't
Yeah,
send it to your personal email because it's Truth or Tinfoil business. So I sent it to that email. So if you ever had to go back, it's in there.
but I wasn't expecting it to go there either. So hey, it is what it is.
All right.
Uh,
So
okay,
now you
so
know to check it.
well, I check it every day anyway. It just happened I hadn't checked it today yet, and I was like, oh, okay,
Well,
all
I
right.
said hi
So
to a few people out there, but hi to everybody else. I didn't get a chance to keep typing because we were working. Um, you
yeah,
know, we've got some good stuff today. This is from my personal stuff. This is just a few that I have that I pulled out of my archives, and it's these things I know that they're real, but what we're trying to determine today, if it's an intellectual haunting
hmm
or if it is a what what would that be? A
or,
poltergeist activity kind of haunting,
or
or
residual.
residual. So those are the three things that we're going to be looking for today. We thought we'd do a little bit something different,
Yeah,
but before we get started doing any of that,
it's
let's take
on
care.
you.
Yeah, let's take care of business and I guess pay the bills, as it were. On Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central, it is Texas Front Porch with myself and Tex. On Tuesdays at 8 p.m., it is Beyond BMR with, of course, BMR and Krista. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central, it is Donnie Cho Says Stuff. At 8 p.m., it's Inhumanoids with Barton Nunley and Letitia Nunley.
Mhm.
Thursdays at 12 p.m. Central, it is Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. And of course, Blondes and Booze come on that night at 8 p.m. Central. You can catch us again on Fridays at 7 p.m. Central. Uh, I got to back up just one because I forgot about Monica. Monica comes on at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock on Thursday evenings. Now that is Central,
Is
10
it 10
o'clock.
or 10:30?
It's supposed to be 10 o'clock. Now,
Okay, we'll go with that.
yeah, it's supposed to be 10 o'clock. And that is Our Paranormal World. On
Uh-huh.
Saturdays at 7 p.m., our friend Paranormal Paul has his own podcast, Paranormal Among Us. So you can check him out at 7 p.m. Central. On 11 p.m. Central Saturday nights, it's Bigfoot Michigan Rob with all of the company on Texas Front Porch. We just show up when we show up. So,
I
but
think
it
he
always
needs to
comes on
rename
at
that.
11 p.m. Central.
He's calling it late night right now, and I'm like, no. Now I'm thinking about it. You ought to rename that the weekly wrap up.
It's late night. You never know what we're going to talk about. We're not wrapping up anything.
Mm.
We're just
Yeah,
getting going. We're just getting going.
he told the
And then
story last night.
all right. On Sundays at 5 p.m. Central, of course, it's us, myself, and Randy Gilbert on Truth or Tinfoil. And at 7 p.m., it is Tex. And who is it tonight? You said it's you
Me, and Donnie Cho are with him
and
on
Don and
Infamous
Cho are
Minds.
going to be on Infamous
And
Minds. So make sure
yep,
you check that out right after this show at 7 p.m. Central.
yep, we're
So
covering the Chris Benoit murders actually. So,
that should be exciting.
well, yeah, sure, sounds good. Anything to talk about wrestling, I'll do it pretty much. So,
Well,
but
there you go. There you go.
I
That's
was
what
hanging.
happens.
I was hanging my head because the last three times, now that I sat there and kept mentioning, because Rob's going to kill me now. The last three times I did the rundown and stuff, I think I forgot to say brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob on Thursdays. I think I went straight into you guys at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Oopsie.
yeah. You can't forget that one. He's picking up steam in that Thursday afternoon show. So if you're not busy Thursday afternoons at 12 p.m. Central, check it out. He's got some good shows lately. So, well,
And
he's always got good shows.
well, yeah, and he's going
So
to sit there and murder me because I didn't pimp him out for whatever reason.
Right, right. So, well, and we have all of that. So there it
Yeah.
is. There it is.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
the lineup. You just take it as you want it.
Be
Pick and
there
choose
or
or
be
watch them all.
square.
Right, right, right.
Okay, so now
Okay,
we
we're gonna.
talked about EVPs this week.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have a whole bunch of your personal EVPs. You sent me 4, but these are going to probably take up the majority from what I heard in the first 2 that I listened to anyway. It's going to take up the majority of the hour anyway. just
Right.
going back and forth over them. So
Right.
I ran into a lot of problems this week again once again, when people do EVPs and they put them out there, they either put them into a video format that can't be tampered with, or, and I'd say that I would actually tamper with it, but you just can't get the audio. I don't want the video. I just want the audio, per se.
Right.
Or it's in a YouTube video. And as well as I do, we start sharing YouTube videos. People like to look down on us, and I don't want to barge into anybody's YouTube stuff. So
right. Exactly. And you just don't want the headache.
no,
You just don't want the headache.
No.
Right.
So
these coming out of my own personal archives is, first of all, I was there. I know who was all there. I can explain every detail you need to know.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's what the best thing is about it. The second thing is that let's determine what not where they came from, but what are they?
Yeah.
What
exactly
are they?
Yeah.
Because many things have happened over, because like I said, I travel all over the United States and go to all these big places and investigate and find things. Some of the biggest places I've been to, I've got relatively nothing. But it's some of the smaller places that I've been that I've gotten the most activity, the best evidence, and it's absolutely amazing.
Now, we talked about this. Remember last year at when we were in Alabama at the Crest, we talked about it. We provided something that we felt that the spirits that were there did not have an opportunity to, how should we say, they hadn't been investigated. So they were kind of full of energy, but they also tired out quick.
Yeah, they did. They did. But let me tell you, that is the first time I've ever been pinched, physically pinched where it hurt.
Yeah.
Was at the Crest. And now that's in Anniston, Alabama. That I've never been pinched where it hurt, ever.
And remember when they talked about it, in the 30s and 40s, the speakeasy type thing, along with the actual hotel, then the clothing goods store and stuff. Them guys at that time frame, if they saw a good looking woman, they was gonna pinch them.
Oh yeah.
And there wasn't nothing you could do about it.
Right. And you can talk about the segregation and all of that stuff that was going on in that particular building. The history on it was absolutely amazing because the courthouse was located out back. Now that they have built a new one in it, believe me, this courthouse is something to see. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It is absolutely gorgeous. I didn't even know it was a courthouse until I looked at the sign. I said, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah,
and it's absolutely beautiful. But if you look out the back of the Crest and you walk down, these little stairs out there, and there's a little corner building right on the corner of the lot, right there on the corner. We found out that that's where they had the public hangings, right there on that lot. So was it somebody from, the store or the hotel itself? I don't know. Could it have been a criminal that was publicly hanged? I don't know.
No earthly, because right around the corner from that was the morgue. Remember, you had left side, you've got the hanging area. The right side, you've got the morgue right there.
Right. And now the police station is located right down there.
Yep.
So I'd like to investigate that thing.
Oh, that'd have been interesting. But
yeah,
honestly, I think
very interesting.
I remember going to, obviously, I talked about it before, going to basic training there. I told you guys about it, and basic training AIT. But every time I was ever back in the Anniston, Alabama area, around Fort McClellan area, they were the policemen I know people don't like it. The policemen were some of the nicest policemen you'd ever want to meet. I mean, when we were sitting there, and I went on my little trek to go back up through the old stomping grounds of Fort McClellan, I come upon a highway patrolman who's sitting there where I'm getting out and taking pictures of all the old barracks and stuff. He gets out and he can't be 25, 26 maybe. Immediately looks at me. You were stationed here, weren't you? Yeah. And we talked for 20 minutes. We really talked for 20 minutes. So they're just as nice as they could be. And the whole area is, but you know, you can find some bad ones everywhere, obviously. So
obviously. Yeah.
you deal with what you got. So okay.
Absolutely.
So, now that I've sufficiently filled 10 minutes worth of BS now, I tell you what, you know what? We're going to start off. I haven't listened to this one yet. So
what is it?
It's going to be the RTPR laugh.
Oh, this one's fantastic.
Yes.
This one is fantastic. Now, let me explain what happened. There was only two of us, me and another lady. We were inside a theater. We were way up in the projection room. There was nobody else in the building whatsoever. We then heard the front door slam. And then as it scared us, you hear this high-pitched laugh, like right at the end. And it sounds like almost like, it reminds me of the Batman, the Joker. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it reminds me of that cackle kind of.
Yeah.
It's just really super loud. Now,
gotcha. Okay.
After it all happened, because I heard it, now the person standing right next to me did not hear it, but I heard it. But I had my earphones on, and we all know that's like bat ears once you have those on, you know, because they're noise canceling and everything else. So I can't hear anything outside of the earmuff. Everything is coming through the microphone is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, come to find out, the only other person on this investigation was that lady's husband. Okay. He was outside in his vehicle sleeping.
Knocked out, huh?
He was sleeping. He went out to take a nap.
Nowhere
he was
around
sleeping through this whole thing. We found him outside. Second of all, and he is a very good investigator, and he would know not to slam the door if he come back in the building. Yeah, if he came back in the building.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know where we're at, so he would not do that.
Yeah. So something slammed the door.
Something slammed the door. Absolutely.
All right. Are you ready?
Play the clip. Yep.
Okay. Now this is in video format, y'all. So we can't stop it. We're just going to roll right through it, and then we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
Are you just watching? Kevin. Sheesh. Strawberry.
Did you hear that?
No.
And yes, I did hear that.
Yeah. It sounded like something like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, see, now I wish I may actually, while we're doing this, take up another window and go ahead and try and pull the audio off of that.
Yeah, try to pull the audio off and see if you can enhance that so we can listen. Like I said, we worked on another one, which was harder to hear. I've used these particular EVPs in different things, so that's why they're in film format.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, especially if you're doing anything with Facebook, you can't just put an audio on Facebook. It has to be in film format.
Yes.
So I had to put everything in film format.
And it's the same thing if you did anything with YouTube. Obviously, you've got to put it into a video to upload it in the first place. So
right, exactly.
So I am going to bring this thing up. I'm going to see if I can get this thing separated real quick. I'm not going to mess with anything as far as the actual the voices. I'm going to leave that. But I'm going to enhance the door, and I'm going to enhance try and enhance a little bit of the laughter because I think it was a little bit further back. So.
Yeah, it was right towards the end. Because I said, "Did you hear that?" She said, "No." And I'm like, "How could you not hear that? That was actually loud to me standing there. I mean, it was audible, so we do know that it was disembodied.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try not to listen. Give me 2 seconds. You keep talking. I'm going to kind of mute what I'm hearing from you if I can real quick. I'm going to try anyway and see if I can hear this a little bit. So,
right. So what it was is when he fixes it, you maybe be able to hear it better. What it was is we hear a door. She asked a question like, "Are you just watching?" Because we had this overwhelming feeling of something just watching us. It gave you the goosebumps, you know, it's just kind of like, ooh, somebody's staring at me, you know, it gave you that icky feeling. And that's why she asked that question. And the best thing of it is because as soon as she asked that question, it's like the door slammed. Now you got to remember, we're in a theater, we're in the projection room, okay, which is way up top. And the doors are way on the bottom and out the lobby, but you can still hear those doors slam. And it slammed with a force. And it's like you can hear it rattle through the whole place. I've even caught that on other recorders. You can hear that door slam. Even in back of the theater, in the green rooms, you could hear it. So, I mean, it was very, very loud. And then, you know, then we got that and it scared her and she almost cussed. She almost did, but she's like, sheesh, you know, whatever. And then right after she says that, then you hear this laugh that's right there with us in that room. Now, in that particular projection room, we've had multiple EVPs. We've saw black figures walking up in there. We've had all kinds of different things walking in there. You could hear the footsteps. I mean, this thing is just crazy. But what it seemed like to me is that something or someone else slammed that door, and there was another one upstairs with us that laughed from our response. So I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy. But with that kind of activity, do you think it's intellectual? Do you think that it's poltergeist? Do you think that it's residual? What do you think this is?
well, I've got it done. I'm going to upload it now, and this ought to be interesting because I was able to enhance the door, what sounds like the door slam, and I was able to enhance the laughter a slight bit. I didn't want to go too much because I think it would have blown it up too much.
Okay.
So
Let's try to get
uploading. We're uploading right now. As soon as it finishes uploading, I will throw it that way because once again, with the videos and the sound bites, we get it better if I upload it into the StreamYard, let the StreamYard software play it versus us trying to just share it. So,
right.
Okay, here comes the audio.
Okay.
Are you just watching?
Now, right there, you heard the door slam. That was the
The
door
door
slam
slammed right there. Yes.
I
Now you
augmented
gotta
that a
remember
slight
that
bit.
door is a long way from us.
Yeah, it sounds in the distance. It did. It sounded further in the distance than even after I augment or amplified it a little bit.
Right.
It's still distant. It's still distant from where you're at, but I can hear y'all's reaction to it though too.
Right.
Okay, so we'll continue on.
Kevin, she's
Now you heard that?
Did you hear that? No.
Okay, I'm gonna. This is one that just that hoo. It's what it sounds like to me. Hoo, almost like.
Yeah. Like it's like almost like it's like laughing at us, like
Yeah, I scared
like,
you. How'd you like that?
yeah, that's what it sounded like to me.
Okay, we're gonna let's do it through one more time. I don't know. I'll let it loop back in. I hope so. Let's go try it again.
Are you just watching? Kevin, she's strawberry. Did you hear that? No.
And y'all reacted to it. Y'all reacted to it bigger than anything.
I sure did. I heard it straight up.
Yeah. So, I mean, that to me, just what I just heard right there, that's an intelligence. That's an intelligence that's sitting there trying to screw with y'all and play with y'all. I won't say really. It could be considered a kind of a poltergeist because it sounds like it's trying to do a kind of play a little mischief with you, not to really hurt you, but to make you go, huh, what happened, type thing.
Well, I will tell you this. This was at a location that I had all access to all the time. So I investigated that thing for 2 years. I mean, oh my gosh, sometimes 2-3 days in a row, and then I'll wait a week, and then I'll go back for a night or two. I mean, I just totally investigated that place. And
Yeah.
I know that there is more than one spirit. There are multiple in that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
let me tell you the story behind this, and then we'll go from there. The story
Okay.
behind this is back in oh my gosh, I want to say 27. I could be wrong. 27 or 29. It's one of those two. A tornado came through this town,
Okay.
and it tore up about a 10-block radius. At that time, there was a boarding house that was sitting in that particular area right there. When the tornado came through, the lawn or the front yard of the boarding house became the triage area.
Okay. Yeah.
And over 100 people died right there that day.
Yeah. So they made a makeshift hospital there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it even took out the courthouse. It took out everything within that 10-mile radius. So I have talked to different spirits, not as much as we know if I'm talking to the correct one or just somebody playing me as a fool. But we've talked to different spirits and had responses for different eras of that particular building. So back in 1940, oh gosh, it was in the late 1940s, they built this theater on there. Okay, so they built a theater and they made it seem like kind of like a ship effect. It has the round windows on the theater doors, and it just looked like a big old ship because it was the time the war was ending and people were coming home, and that kind of represented freedom to a lot of people and to the architecture. So they wanted to give them that feel that this was the place to come and enjoy yourself. So that was the theme of it. Now, this thing it has what we call a free floating or a suspended ceiling. It's whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the drop ceiling.
Nope. The ceiling is made of concrete and it is suspended by metal wire. And it's circular. It's the only one left in existence that is made like this, that has survived.
I don't think I'd want to walk underneath that sucker.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's up to you. It's up there pretty steady. It's not showing any wear or tear on it that it would,
Do you see me?
That it would
Do you
fall.
know my luck?
So, I mean, this place has a lot of history to it. A lot of people have just gone crazy. There is a story behind it too, that they were watching a movie in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole bunch of people in the theater and they were watching this movie. And the next thing you know, this little old lady gets up. They don't exactly know where she got up from, but she gets up. She starts walking down the aisle. She walks right up on the theater stage, walks across, and then walks down the other side. They have a picture of her. There's no lady, ladies and gentlemen. That lady did not exist in the human realm.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now. This is the thing that gets me about now. This is going to be another one. This is another whole show, but theaters in general. Okay.
Oh,
theaters
gosh, yes.
I've got, and I could get hold of a couple of guys out there in Mineola, Texas. I'm going to tell you what, all of us that were there for the Bigfoot conference in 2021, I believe it was, they took us on a tour of the old Playhouse and theater, the current theater there. I've never seen anything like it. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it, and they're still doing tours of it to this day. So
Right.
it's a
So,
whole
yeah, but there's a lot now. There's I have a picture in my archive, and you can look at it and you can see people in there
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
walking around. I mean, it's just strange for me
mhm.
because, like I said, the more I investigated, the more I saw. It was just, it's like it as it got to know you, it kept like, I don't know, opening up to me.
Yeah, like it
Little
wanted
strange.
to really communicate to you more. It said,
Right.
"Oh, you know what?
Exactly.
You're Oda Mae Brown. That's what you are."
And it talked to me quite a bit. I mean, I get children, I would get males, I would get females, I would get, just conversations between the two. And I mean,
Yeah.
it was just crazy. It was just crazy.
Well,
But
yeah. I
I
mean,
think you're right, Randy. I don't think this is poltergeist activity.
no. I think it's just it's a
I think
mischievous
it's
spirit.
intelligent.
Yeah. It wants to mess with you. It wants to talk to you. It wants to. Hey, let me see if I can communicate with them. And I hate to bring up this movie because it's just like Ghost. Okay. Remember when Patrick Swayze and he figures out that Oda Mae Brown can hear him, right? And see, or hear him at
Hmm.
least.
Hmm.
How many ghosts show up knowing that she can hear them now?
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm sorry that when you said that, it immediately clicked in my mind and said the writers were onto something with that one.
Yeah, and that's possible, because it is kind of a strange atmosphere. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not harmful. There's nothing
No,
terrible in there.
nothing,
It's just
uh,
and,
malevolent about it.
right, and there's a lot more to it. Like they added on a side to it, and it was kind of like storefronts,
Yeah.
and one was a pharmacy. And then next door to that, they had to makeshift a morgue out of that because the morgue was not suitable or something happened to where they couldn't use the morgue at the time. So they had to use a different area for a morgue while they repaired the one they had.
Yeah.
So part of the main part of the morgue was in this building also on the new part.
Yeah. Yeah. Understand.
Very
So
strange.
yeah, I mean,
And we did a lot to help and preserve the place, and we cleaned it up, and we did a lot of things. And let me tell you, the stuff I was finding out of there, I mean, I found candy wrappers from the 1950s. I
oh
found
yeah.
cigarette packs from the 60s.
Well,
I found toys
there's
all over the place, old stuff from the pharmacy in the 1970s. I mean, it was amazing. It's full of
you
stuff.
never know about it. Yeah, you never know about it until you actually get in there and see that kind of stuff, and then it just blows your mind that some of it could have survived as long as it did.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, that one was like I said, I love that laugh at the end because it just that immediately anybody was scared or taken back by the door slam, that giggle put you at ease. I'm sorry, it put me at ease right then and there because it sounded like somebody just goofing off.
Right. Truth. It happened. That type of activity happened more than once. More than once. It was multiple times.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with the door slam and the laugh, but it was just other things. It was like you would hear running coming to you. You'd be standing there still. You'd hear somebody running to you, and then all of a sudden you'd hear somebody talking behind you, and there's nobody there. So I mean, it's very strange, but that place is very, very haunted.
Yeah, and the more you go, and the more they get used to you, obviously, the more they're going to interact with you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so we're moving on next. All right. Thought about doing this one, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and do the hospital screen.
Okay. So
Pitt's
this
Hospital.
one, yeah. Well, the reason why I named it a scream is because that's what was initially heard by the two people that were standing there.
Okay.
We were in a hospital. It's Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. This is in Tennessee. It's
Okay.
located by Harriman Hospital. So if anybody's familiar with those two places, this is where I was at the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. We were on the very top floor. We were down at one end, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna leave my recorder down here, and we're gonna go all the way to the other end. That was just me and another lady. Now there's two more people in there, and they're investigating, and
Yeah.
they are probably 6 rooms down from my recorder.
Okay.
Now, in the meantime, in the very first 15 seconds, you will hear this thing make a sound. And then it will freak the people out that are close to it. You can hear them.
Yep.
But initially they said it sounded like a scream. So when they freaked out after the clip is done, after that, they run down to us thinking one of us were in trouble because it sounded like one of us screamed.
Yeah. And
So that's why I named it. That's why I named it the Scream.
Yeah. And we'll
Right.
let you guys figure that part out for yourselves on that. But as you were talking about that, I sat there and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, man, this is that far away.
Yeah.
It's honestly, obviously you got echoes throughout the place. So that's why you're getting the voices from them. But just for you to even pick it up really was good. And to let all you guys know,
It
I
was
had to do some
absolutely
noise
amazing.
reduction. I did some
Right.
noise reduction and some augmentation so we could hear it, some amplification so we could hear it better. So, but when I did that, like you'd said before, the white noise got really, really bad. So I had to do some normalization, and then we took down the noise reduction some, and it sounds pretty good, I think, right now. So
Right.
here
Well,
it is.
let me answer this question
Okay.
from Hair
Go ahead.
Force.
Okay.
We do not place recorders outside. Only because we make ourselves well aware of where we are, what the traffic is like, and things like that. So, we know what our surroundings are doing, and we know how to debunk things like that. And usually, if it is a car or something like that, we'll see headlights. That last audio, we investigate that thing probably between 11 and 4 in the morning. So our downtown is absolutely silent down there. We're not a big town, and when you're downtown, it gets really silent down there. There's not very many cars at all down there. There's not people out there. Not at all. So I mean, we got to take that in consideration. There's other places where I do have to watch out for, if I'm in the, like a life flight, area or something like that, where it could go over or something like that, I have to pay attention to that. Or if it's a high traffic area. Usually if it's a high traffic area, that's hard for me to do. I normally slack off on the audio and go to video.
Yeah. That in that situation, it'd be kind of tough because you could write off just about anything you caught, just about.
Right.
So,
Right. And like I said, all of these EVPs that we're going to listen to, we've tried to debunk them. We've tried to figure out what happened. And these are, we don't know.
Okay.
Now in this particular one he's going to play now, you'll hear this sound, but it is not what they heard. It sounds completely different.
Okay. So here we go. The Pitts Hospital.
Yeah, it's in about the first 10 or 15 seconds.
What the hell? Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, yeah! What?
Yeah, as they get louder at the end, that's them coming out in the hallway from the room they were in.
Exactly.
But you hear this thing, and it sounds like almost like a growl, or even like somebody throwing up. It just has that nasty sound to it.
Yep.
And it sounded like somebody screamed to them, but that's not how it came across on audio.
No, it sounds like a lower pitch, like for better word, almost like a bell chirp. Ugh,
because they would have never come running to us if they'd have heard that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought so. We'll play it again.
They thought one of us screamed.
Yeah, So they heard
And
an actual scream.
they had heard an actual scream, and you
Okay.
can hear him saying, "What the hell was that?"
All right. So let's listen to this one more time, and I'm gonna pause it right after the little. Okay.
Yeah.
Hear them talking in the background. Right there.
All right. Yes,
They
Air Force. This one was on a weekend. Absolutely.
So yeah, I couldn't tell you one way or the other what that really is, because it sounds too low to be much of anything. Because if you'd have had a cat, any kind of animal that might have caused that kind of react or that kind of sound in there, it would have been louder and it would have been noticeable.
Right.
But for
But see,
them to
the
hear a
thing
scream,
is that they said they heard this scream like this, you know, and it was loud to them.
so what I'm betting is, and this is just what I'm thinking, whatever it was in the room with them, but it echoed out to you, and then you caught the reverberation through the walls.
I don't know. I'm not hearing them with any type of echo.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't hear as much of an echo. Let's see what I got here.
Okay.
Of course, I got to go all the way through it again now. And there's the what the hell and all that. That's the only bad thing about having to do it up on here.
Yeah! What?
Yep, that's where she came out. So, all right, so there's them talking in that room right there, I'm assuming, right?
That's them talking, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I don't necessarily hear the echo per se. I hear, ugh.
Yeah.
I hear.
Right. Right.
So,
and it sounded like a scream to them, but that's not how it came across on audio. Now tell me how that happens.
it does. I can't explain that.
I
can't
know.
explain it. So, even if it was being muffled by the walls and such, it still should have had the same pitch. It still should have had the same sound.
You would think. You would think, but that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's what makes this one weird. Is not necessarily because of the sound, because I've got many of them that have really weird sounds on, but that they heard one thing, but it came across on audio as another.
Yeah, and that, I mean, truth says it kind of right. I mean, anybody listening to just that alone and not knowing the full bit sounds like a rough cough. It could easily be a rough cough from somebody.
Could be. We're in the middle of a hospital. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely could be. And when you're in a hospital, most generally you're not going to hear a lot of outside noise unless it's super loud.
No.
Not
really.
No, you're not going to hear it, especially one that's got all its windows and everything. You're not going to hear a lot of outside noise. Plus, again, these are late at night. I only bring out my audio, if I'm in a remote area or I don't have a lot of outside noise.
Yeah.
But that one was very weird to me.
Yeah. That does feel weird. I mean, that one doesn't have the same happy feeling about it like what the other one did, like the playful bit. This was, if they heard a scream and you heard that, I'm thinking this is still intelligent, but this may not have best interest at heart. You know what I mean?
Or could it be residual? It's just leftover sounds from when the hospital was in operation.
But then again, if you talk about the leftover sounds, you're still talking them getting a scream and you getting that.
True.
So
true.
Now, if it's something else, it could make them hear something and you hear something different, or your audio hears something different.
Right. That's why I find this really crazy.
Yeah.
Just really crazy. I mean, because the guy ran down to us, actually tripped and fell and broke his camera.
Oh no.
Because he thought we were in trouble.
Yeah. And that was it. That was the lady that was with him at the end. Say yow or ow, or was that him yelling ow?
No. That's not when he fell.
No. I'm saying that her voice. I'm guessing the lady's voice, yow or whatever at the end.
I don't know what she was actually saying. I'd have to listen to it again. It's hard to tell.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
but it was up close and you could hear it. And it's like she was what type thing, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that one was interesting. Very
Yeah.
much interesting.
Yeah. That's what makes it strange. I mean, we all want that one EVP that is absolutely 100%. You know what it says and it's straightforward. And,
Yeah.
you know, but these little ones, it's these little ones that make me wonder. Like I said, they heard a scream. We hear coughing, growl, something going on the audio. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why are we hearing something different over audio when that's clearly not what they heard when it was a disembodied voice?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what makes it weird. That's what makes paranormal odd. You really have to dig into it.
I mean, and listen, there's people that think that this ain't all Ghostbusters or Ghost Hunters, or I am not even saying the dude's name. I refuse to say it. So, Most Haunted or any of that other crap. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
To get the evidence, it's hours upon hours of just sitting there with it on your head going.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's like you have to relive the whole investigation all over again. But I will tell you this.
Okay.
And it's too hard. I was gonna attach this clip to it. It was the same night, but I didn't do it. But where I had left that recorder, and I listened to it for another hour. Okay. And you can clearly hear like a little child coming through there, and you can hear him breathing. He's like, like a little kid breathes if they've been running. You know how that sounds? Sounded like a little kid, but it sounded like they were moving stuff on the table. They were like, but it sounded like a little kid breathing, like he was really,
you
working
ran
hard.
ragged. He was trying to get him some water. Yeah.
Right. But you really have to tune into that and listen for it, but you can hear it. You definitely can hear it. And it is so amazing, but you can't, I mean, I of course I don't have the money or the equipment to make that sound available for everybody.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll get it and we'll put it out there. And if you listen to it with earphones or something, maybe you can hear it. So maybe we'll do that.
Yeah. Well, and like I was saying, that's the one thing I miss about, remember when I used to take all these shows for when we put it out on the internet radio, I'd take them and I'd break them down, and I would have to do a lot of audio engineering on them to get dead spots cut out, get it to a certain count so we got the right timing and everything. And that way I was able to listen to a lot of the shows that everybody did. And you remember when I brought you guys that one from you and Krista's show, and it was like, I'm literally sitting here listening to it, waiting to do my cut, and I hear bye, and I hear you're saying bye, and she says bye, and right behind Krista saying bye.
Right. We do have that. I mean, that's right off of our show.
What did I hear?
Well, because people are asking, like, when are we going to get to the tinfoil? These are not tinfoil.
No, I don't think
these are mine. These are absolutely mine from my investigations, from my archives. These are absolutely 100% real.
You know what?
We could not debunk these.
Granddads are just for giggles. Don't believe a single thing that Brandi has to say.
Right off to the side.
That's because you're a demented who.
I am. I live in Whoville. Here's for you.
I immediately thought Cindy Lou Who, and I was like, no, that ain't right.
Right. No, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm really not trying to scare anybody. I promise you, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I mean, these things are real. You're not going to sit there, or anyone is going to tell me that these things didn't happen. I was there.
Yeah. And that's one of the things. Shows like this are great because we got the person that did them, that has them, and it was there when it happened. We've got background for it, and we got somebody we actually trust and stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's not left open for the what ifs.
Yeah,
this is not the what ifs.
It's not the normal that we do on a weekly basis where we go in and try and nitpick it, because a a lot of people get mad when you try and nitpick their stuff, and I'm like, you can't take it like that. I'm just looking at it as it is. That's all I'm doing.
As it
no
is.
story, no nothing. I just want to look at the actual evidence. Say, can that be redone? Can it be made by, done and debunked? Can it be anything else other than what somebody's saying? And that's what
Like
the
I
whole
said,
show is really about. But this is fun.
All of these I swear, because I'd rather be wrong than right. Because when I'm right, then I've got more questions, and I hate that.
Rissel, that's a demented Jiffy Pop to you. Thank you very much.
Right. I mean, because if I'm wrong, and somebody can doubt what that is, or can say, hey, well, it could have been this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe it could be. I'm one of those. Like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So in my theory on EVPs is, when in doubt, throw it out.
Exactly.
You know, I'm like, if anybody can doubt this and I can't back it up, then we're just going to throw it out.
Yeah.
But this next clip, we got to hurry up and get into it, because we're at 47 minutes.
Let's see. We're going to do. Oh, you in a hurry?
We're going to do the lobby. We're going to do the lobby. Okay. So
you want to do the lobby then?
Yeah. Hang on a second. Let me explain what happened here. Again, this is the same theater. This particular EVP was used in a documentary about this place. And they asked for it from me because, again, this is a very unique EVP. And we were walking out of the main theater part from where all the chairs go down the stage. We're walking up out of there, and we're walking up to go out the doors. And then this happens.
All right. Well, I was answering a question. But here you go. It's for you. And I have not messed with this one. This one has not been augmented. It has not been touched. It's
straight up out of my archive.
It started that far and it hasn't stopped. What was that? Who done that?
Okay. Number one, that was as clear as you could hear anybody anytime. It is a voice. I couldn't quite tell what they said. But
so this would be considered a Class B.
Okay.
It's a Class B because we can hear the voice. We know it's saying something, but we can't understand what it's saying. And I still can't to this day tell you exactly what it says. But we need to listen to it again, because you're going to find where it's unique in it.
And we're going to hear it probably a few more times, because we're going to be going back, I have a feeling. All right, here we go again.
It started that far and it hasn't stopped.
Okay. Where is this at again?
This is at that theater in my town.
I thought you said, because I'm just saying what it sounds like to me, what I hear. It sounds like somebody's voice coming over a loudspeaker. Okay. What loudspeaker? It sounds almost like if you ever watched the old hospital shows, like Emergency or something from back in the 70s and 80s, It sounds like Stat Doctor, whatever, the announcements over those PAs, those PA systems. And so that's exactly what it sounds like to me. Now I'm going to finish it up here.
What was that? Who done that?
Now, right there, doesn't it sound like it's still going behind her voice?
It isn't. I checked that. It's just her. It's just her. I checked it.
Okay. All right.
It's just her.
It sounds like there's a voice behind her voice as well. And it just it wasn't the same voice, but it sounded like something else, maybe lower tone was behind it. So
no.
Right, we'll that one up. It finishes there. And now, what were you going to say about the distinction of it?
Okay. What makes this really unique is because we can't get it to play as well as it was in the documentary, because they have all the equipment, we don't. But if you listen to it closely, you were right, Randy. It sounds like an intercom system. And if you remember me telling the story at the beginning of the show, that there was a pharmacy that was there, and they would use the intercom
Okay.
to call people to tell them their prescriptions were ready.
Oh, okay. So was you telling that while I was working on the other pile?
You might have been. Yeah,
'Cause
it could have been. It
I
could
didn't
have
hear
been.
you. I
So
didn't hear you say that, but
what it sounds like is they're calling somebody to come get their prescriptions or something like,
that very well could
something
be.
like that. They were calling them to come get it,
Yeah.
but we can't tell who or exactly what they were saying. The interesting part of this is that intercom system has not worked in over 20 years.
Oh. See, and that every time I hear something like that, it's like, okay, the intercom system is still there. You can still see the speakers, right? So the speakers are completely gone and everything.
Yep.
Well, I'm telling you right now, honestly, it sounds like that type of a speaker. And we're talking about an old style. We're not talking about the new digitals that you hear in Walmart. Hey, so your car's ready. Come to automotive, blah, blah, blah.
I know. It sounds like.
Exactly. It sounds like the old Taco Bell drive-through. Okay.
Yes. Yes. And you got to remember that they put this pharmacy bag in there in the 1970s, early 1970s, I would say,
Okay.
early to mid. And they didn't use those intercoms after that pharmacy came out of there.
Yeah. Well,
And they took them all out and they made it into a conference type room after that.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking, like Air Force kind of hit on what I was about to ask about. Did the intercom follow the spirit? No, I don't think it has anything to do with a quote unquote spirit at all. I think this one is definitely much like what we did with the young lady, drowning young lady a few weeks ago. This is definitely a residual.
Yes.
There's no doubt in my mind on this one.
Just like we discussed at Gettysburg when we were hearing, the cannons going off and things like that. This is just a residual noise that for some reason popped up. Now that was the first time I'd ever heard that, and it was the last time I'd ever heard that. I never heard it after that again. The intercom does not work. They have taken the speakers out. There's no reason. It has become a full-blown theater again. And there is no pharmacy. There's no nothing. Like I said, they took all of those speakers out of there because they had no reason for them. They made it into a conference type area.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
I mean, that one was wild. I mean, because it's distinct. I mean, it's distinct and it's kind of hard to even try and debunk. Something when you get a good residual like that, like we did with the cannons, like we did with the water that the girl in it, and now this one with an intercom. There's no doubt it's an intercom. It sounds like to me, but I'm probably letting myself kind of go crazy with it a little bit. But it's distinctly that type of tinny sound.
Air Force says they're going to have to wrap that pickle in a tinfoil. Tell me how.
But he just likes to wrap pickles in tinfoil, though. That's all.
Maybe. I mean, you got to tell me how. I mean, how can we duplicate something on a system that is no longer there?
Yeah. And they don't even make the system anymore. You'd have to go special purchase a system like that nowadays. Now there's some you were at the bar with me down there, okay, when we did the investigation down there. And there's an old intercom system in there.
Right.
It's still there to this day.
Right. And you're right, Grandizer. I did find a great spot, but unfortunately it went under new management. It is run by the city, owned by the county, and I'm no longer allowed in there.
You pissed some people off. That's what it sounds like.
No, we just got, and I'm sorry, everybody, but I mean, it is the truth. I'm a Christian first and foremost, but they started having church on Sundays in there, and
we got a cat trying to join me here,
and we lost all access. So, I mean, that's the way it is. And I was like, well, that'd be an interesting church service.
Yeah. Be sitting there in the middle of church and have the intercom go off.
You're right. I mean, it's just it's just all kinds of stuff. I mean, we were sitting in there and we had just got done cleaning the whole theater. We were holding an event in there and got done cleaning the whole theater, meaning we had to sweep and vacuum the whole thing from the top to the bottom. We just had sat down And we set up on the top tier because there was nobody sitting up there and nobody had been sitting up there. And next thing you know, you hear somebody that sounded like opening up candy. Like you can hear the wrapper opening.
Oh God, that's
I was
insane
like,
there.
yeah, because we had vacuumed it and swept it from top to bottom because we would, we like to keep it
Yeah.
better than, what we left it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, always leave it better than what you did. If anything's there when I get there, if it's trash, it's going with me. Always leave stuff as is or better. So I'm with you on that one. So, that's pretty amazing there on that one though.
Do you think guys should go in with analog equipment, VHS, tape recording? You can go in with whatever you want. You can go in with, it doesn't even matter.
Now, I maybe not so much VHS, but you remember, like we talked about with Chris's friend, he used straight film all the time.
Right.
Todd, was it Todd? I can't remember his last name now, but either way. And that's how he caught all his stuff. He didn't focus. He didn't take aim. He got feelings. He turned and he had right here and he turned and he shot with camera, with lens, with film. None of the digital stuff, and it all got developed. An actual film. So, one day I know all these electronics make it easy for everybody to do the stuff, but one day do one just go back old school,
Right.
The old cassette recorder or the old reel-to-reel recorder and an actual, 8mm tape video camera,
Right.
So the thoughts of doing it and the stuff you would catch on that, if you could catch stuff on it, maybe it would, set that up, run it like that, see what you catch there, parallel it with the new stuff, and see which one catches what.
Right.
If they catch anything, obviously, but still.
On that, does it have any numbers on it? It should have the original numbers that I sent you.
Okay, hang on a second. I will tell you.
It'll say lobby, and it should have some numbers.
Lobby door voice. RT 1010 2020.
There it is.
So October 10th of 2020.
Yep.
So, but that was, I love that one. That was a real good EVP. That's one of the,
right.
The residuals are always the most fun because you could tell what's going on with them more than you can anything else.
Right. Because we sit around and we talk about EVPs and like everybody wants that one EVP where they say something and it's right out there. It's, we're not ghost adventurers. We don't make stuff up.
No.
Or,
and I don't run down the hallway going, dude,
bro, dude and bro. No. Yeah, we can't. I don't have that kind of expense account.
No, not in the least. And I'm not going to even try.
Right. So, like I said, I what I do is I come home, I lay it all out. I put the whole thing out there and I put on my earphones and then I listen. And as I find them, I clip them and put them to the side. That way I don't have to play 6 and 7 hours of this stuff for you. You'll get a 15 to 30 second audio of what I heard.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing, but it's tiresome. It is tedious work. But when you catch one, when you hear it, it is fantastic.
Okay. Well, we have been here for right on an hour.
I'm
going to give a little bit of a shout out real quick because I've been trying to help this place in Jacksonville, Texas, a little bit right south of Tyler. Ladies just opened up a place for investigations. She kind of like what Hill House does, but they're relatively new.
Right.
And it's got a great reputation. I don't know if I sent you the link for it yet or not, but it's called the 1899 Bolton Street House is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get in there. I'm going to try and get in there hopefully in the future sometime just to see what it's like. Now I've heard stories, but you know me, we like Hill House and we've dealt with Hill House and we love Hill House.
Right.
I'm thinking about doing a whole weekend of just running around to these places. Of course, Hill House and they're 400 miles apart, so it's going to be fun.
Right. Yeah. Good luck.
But I'm trying to help them out. I tell them, I said, I'm gonna start pushing people your way because that's the kind of place the amateur people, that go around just trying to find a place to go. That's where they need to start. Kind of places like that. So
Right.
get out there, hook them up, go see them, and then practice your trade. Get good at it. Don't just throw crap against the wall and see what sticks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot do. But other than that, I just figured I'd do that. Now you can yell at me later.
Right. But see, and I do have to tell this real quick is I'm seeing a lot of this skeptical this and a skeptical of that. Well, this is the reason why I'm here to explain what happened.
Exactly.
The only time that this thing has been altered was to clip it from the 6 hours that was there to put it on a file.
Yep.
Because you heard us, Randy was sitting there and he's trying to enhance this and enhance that, and just so you can hear it better, not so I can hear it better, so you can hear it better.
Yeah.
So that's the
it always
original
helps to
file.
have the person there. Yeah.
Right.
The person that got it being there to explain it, that gives it a little bit more credibility than me just pulling it off the internet and trying to throw something against it.
Yeah, because I am a skeptic too. I am a skeptic too. I ain't gonna lie, because I'm like, you heard what? Well, let's try to recreate that sound.
Very first thing you do every time.
Try
and recreate it.
Right. But all you're hearing is the EVP itself. You're not hearing everything after that, which is, well, how did that happen? Where did you hear it from? Where did it come from? Do you think you could have moved this way, scraped the wall? Could you have done this? Da 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 da. We go through all of that, and we absolutely do. So, but that's a good investigator. We just don't take it as this is what it is, and we're going to tell you what it is. No, I'm going to try and debunk it. If I can recreate the sound or even come close, I'm going to throw it out.
Hey, no fair. I don't want her to beat me up. I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah. Well, Randy's been with me when we've caught some evidence that he can't debunk either. So
there's no doubt. We've been on. I know the bar investigation. There's a bunch of crap we caught that we can't debunk. We
absolutely
could never
not.
even hope to. But that's for another time. To this day, and we did that 2 years ago or a year ago or whatever it's been now. Or
2 years.
Has it been 2 years?
No, a little over a year. Little over a year.
Yeah, a little over a year. And I still have not finished all the audio and video from it. Still haven't done it.
See, and I get too excited. I got to go through that like ASAP.
Oh, I did as quick skims. Don't get me wrong, because there's a bunch of stuff that happened. I wanted to try and see if we got actually on tape, but it wasn't there.
Right.
But anyway, appreciate it, guys. We thank you for being here. And next week, what do you think we ought to do? We think we ought to maybe start looking at theaters for next week.
I don't know. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's see if we can find anything anywhere. I mean, there's some good theaters up there, especially on the East Coast.
Oh yeah,
there's a ton up in the East Coast that would be good.
Yeah, theaters would be great. I'm still looking into doing more of the high schools, the haunted high schools, because they're all over the place.
Oh,
and there's a lot more out there than I thought there was. So I'm kind of honing them down. So
we're gonna get out of Texas and we're gonna start with other states.
Oh no, I'm staying here, right here. All right, guys, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have fun and try not to make the women in your life mad, because when they get mad, they tend to beat on you, and it's not fun. It's just not fun. Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to throw stuff from here to Texas.
You think you're the only woman in my life? You think I ain't getting it here all the time anyway? I'm getting it all the way from England. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness, that's true. That is true. Well, goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you next week, 5 p.m. Central on Sunday.
Let me do my Carol Burnett. Bye.